What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Seeking Sister Wife Season 5, Episode 6, Seeking Commitment. Now, let's get started with Justin and Becky. Now, they were not the main event of the episode, but they were the main event in my mind because I have a lot of questions for Justin and Becky. A lot of questions. I'm so confused by them. So, last week, we saw Justin and Becky packing up their car to go see Stephanie because Stephanie had contacted them and told them that she wanted them to come visit her. But then I think before they even left the house, she had told them that she changed her mind and she no longer wanted them to come see her. But for whatever strange and crazy reason, unless I missed it, to me still a mystery, why they still decided to go see her after she told them that she no longer wanted to see them. So I was very confused about that. So at that point, I had no idea where Stephanie lived. I didn't know she was like in another town right down the street. I had no idea. Coming to find out, Stephanie lives in Colorado. They live in Texas. Okay. So they're going to be driving 12 hours across, I don't know how many states to go see someone who made it clear to them that she did not want them to come over. I thought that was really strange and a bit like on the stalker side. She tells them, I don't want her to come over for whatever reason. She changed her mind and they're still going to go see her. They're like, no, we've made plans. We're still going to go see her. We don't care what she says. Now, last week, Justin had told us that he is like head over heels in love with Stephanie. He says that he will do anything for Stephanie. He will take a bullet for Stephanie. He says outside of his wife, Becky, and his family, he doesn't love anyone as much as he loves Stephanie. Like he is really deeply in love with this woman, Stephanie. Now, Stephanie, like I said, she's her potential. They have been dating her for, I don't remember exactly how long, maybe a year or two or so. They've been dating her. And, but she's really wishy-washy. She hasn't been very consistent. One minute she wants to be with them. The next minute she doesn't want to be with them. Now they told us the reason why she's so wishy-washy is because she's been listening to her friends and her family who've been trying to persuade her not to go through with this whole plural marriage type of thing. So I was just thinking to myself, okay, number one, she's very wishy-washy. Why are y'all still taking a 12-hour trip to go see her after she clearly told y'all that she did not want y'all to come over? So then on their way to her house, they stop by and they pay for her gym membership. So then I thought, okay, maybe this is the reason why she's wishy-washy with them. Like she only wants to be around them, or she only wants to be with them, or she expresses an interest in them whenever she needs them to pay for something, or if she needs money from them. Then she's all up in their face. But then when she doesn't need anything from them, that's when she begins to ghost them. So they pay for her gym membership, right? And so then they drive to her house. When they get to her house, number one, it's raining. Okay, it's raining and they're uninvited. They are uninvited. So they get to her house and Justin stays in the car while Becky goes to basically to confront Stephanie. So Becky goes to the door, knocks on the door, and Stephanie's like, what are you doing here? I told y'all that I didn't want to see y'all, or I didn't want you to come over. And Becky's like, no, we need answers. We need to understand why you're doing this to us. You know, why don't you want to be with us? And Justin really wants to be with you, etc., etc. So Becky is going hard for her husband, like really trying to get to the bottom of why Stephanie is doing this to them. Why doesn't she want to commit to them? Well, now we find out why. Stephanie has a whole entire boyfriend, and that boyfriend is in her house at that moment because she tells Becky, I want to be with Greg, and in fact, Greg is here. So I'm wondering if maybe that's the reason why Justin didn't come out of the car, because they knew that she had a boyfriend and they knew that the boyfriend might be at the house. And so if it was Justin at the door, maybe the boyfriend would have ended it like right then and there. But I don't know. I don't understand why Justin was not, I don't understand why Becky has to be the go-between between Justin and Stephanie, between Justin and Desiree being the woman that they met at the bar a couple of episodes ago. Like, I don't understand why this woman, Becky, is caping so hard for her husband to have a woman. Okay, so Becky is really trying to fight for her husband, trying to make Becky understand, what she's doing to them, what she's doing to Justin. Why doesn't she want to be with them? And Stephanie tells her, look, I want to be with my man, Greg. We're together. That's who I want to be with. And so then Becky was like, well, were you having sex with Greg at the same time that you're having sex with Justin? And Stephanie was like, that's none of your business. And then Becky was like really aggressive about it, like extremely aggressive, unnaturally aggressive. She was like, well, I need to know if you were having sex with Justin, if you were having sex with Greg at the same time that you're having sex with Justin. I need to know this. And then she starts like spitting out dates. Like, when you saw Justin on such and such a date, were you already having sex with Greg? And Stephanie kept on telling her, son of your bitch. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Number one, why can't Justin fight his own battles? And why is Becky so adamant about fighting for her husband to have a woman? Like, if it doesn't work out, if Stephanie is being wishy-washy, indecisive, doesn't really want to commit, playing games with y'all, why can't you just be like, okay, she doesn't want to be with us, let's move on? But because Justin has claimed that he's so in love with Stephanie, remember y'all, last week I said he's probably like really deeply in love with Stephanie because she put it on him. She put that thing on him, right? Because, now we know that they've had sex multiple times, and she probably turned him out, and now he's addicted. Now he can't get enough of Stephanie, and Becky knows this, and she's gonna fight for her husband to still be in this relationship with Stephanie. To me, it's just so crazy and so weird, because what I'm used to seeing on this show, if it doesn't work out with a potential sister wife, everybody just moves on. Everybody goes their separate ways, and the couple, they go back to the drawing board to go find, a new sister wife. But Becky is like, confronting Stephanie, and she's like being very aggressive with her. Her tone of voice was really out of pocket. It was almost as if she was willing to fight Stephanie for some reason. Like, I was like, Becky, I need you to calm down. I need you to get back in the car. Please get back in the car. So she comes back in the car, and Justin asked her, so what did she say? And Becky says, well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let her do her own dirty work. The only thing that she told her husband in the car was that Stephanie was still willing to be friends with her. So they get to the hotel. And Justin is still wanting to know, what did Stephanie say at the door? And Becky was like, you need to ask her, you need to talk to her about that. And Justin says, well, she's not going to talk to me. Okay, she's not going to talk to me. We both know that she's not going to talk to me. Now, I'm like, why? Why won't Stephanie talk to you, Justin? Like, what the hell happened? What happened? I'm thinking, like, she no longer has a use for them anymore. Like, they were buying things for her, paying things for her. And because now she wants to be with this guy named Greg, maybe Greg now is taking care of her financially. So she doesn't even really need Justin and Becky anymore. That's what I'm thinking. But the way that Justin is like, I need to know what she said. I need to know what happened. I'm wondering if, like, no, the way that Justin and Stephanie are not talking to each other makes me wonder if something happened between them. Like, did they have a fight? Did he do something to offend her, or vice versa? Like, why aren't Justin and Stephanie having conversations? So Becky finally relents and tells her husband, well, she said that she doesn't want to see us anymore and that she wants to be with Greg. And Justin tells us that if he was back in his 20s, he would have gone right back to that house and fought Greg. But because he's old and his bones are brittle, he's like, no, I'm going to just chill at the hotel. But it seems like he's really hurt that Stephanie, I guess, is finally breaking up with them. All I can say is, if Stephanie ever calls them again and asks them for anything at all, whether it's something monetary or she wants them to come see her, they need to put their foot down and say hell to the no. In fact, they need to block her and just be done with her, because she's just doing nothing but playing games with them. Because Justin is like head over heels in love with her. Becky is willing to go to blows with her because she doesn't want to be with her husband. And she's just, trying to chill with her boyfriend, Greg, and she wants something to do with them. So block this woman and just go about your business. But the whole thing to me is just so weird how Justin and Stephanie don't communicate with each other. Becky is the go-between always for Justin. Why doesn't Justin talk to his own women or potential women? And why is Becky so adamant? Because even when they were at the bar and she was the go-between between Justin and Desiree, Becky was really trying to sell her husband to Desiree and trying to sell them to Desiree. Like, this is going to be a good, I just don't understand. Like, I really don't understand why Becky is working overtime, double time, triple time to make sure that her husband gets a woman. I think it's really weird. I understand the concept of having a sister wife and plural families and all of that. I get it, but I thought that if it's not working out with someone, you just cut your losses and move on to the next. Moving on to Ashley and Shane. So Ashley's the one that is about to have a baby. She's about to pop, and they're looking for a sister wife, not for Shane, but for Ashley. Ashley is bisexual, and she's the one looking for a second wife. The first wife that they found did not work out. Well, the first potential wife that they found did not work out because Shane and her did not get along. So Ashley now has found Sarah. Her first meeting with Sarah went really well. There was chemistry between them, an attraction between them, an affinity between them. So Ashley's excited to introduce her husband to Sarah. And Sarah, unlike the first one, is looking forward to meeting Shane. So they all decide to go play miniature golf. So they meet at the miniature golf place, right? And Sarah says that her first impression of Shane is that he looked like your average guy, just your regular dad-looking guy. And Shane's first impression of Sarah was also positive. He said that, she was attractive, she was beautiful, she had a great sense of humor. So the first impressions of each other went great. So Ashley and Sarah, while they were playing miniature golf, they were getting really flirty with one another. And I was wondering if Shane was feeling kind of left out, or if like this was, I don't know, turning him on. I mean, I couldn't read him, right? I'm thinking like for some guys, not all, but maybe for some guys, it'd be kind of like, oh, my wife is bisexual and, she has her girlfriend and I'm watching them flirt with each other and one thing is going to lead to another and either I can witness or participate. But Shane seems to be very aloof. Okay. He was watching them flirt with each other and I felt like he was kind of pouty. Okay. While they were having a good time with one another. So Sarah's past relationships. Okay, so they sit down to have lunch and Shane begins to grill her about her experience with plural relationships. And she tells them that in the past, she has dated couples, but it was always something, kind of casual, friends with benefits type of situation, nothing really serious and heavy. So then Shane says, well, then I don't know if this is going to work out with us because, we're looking for something serious and, you're looking for something casual. And so then Sarah says, excuse me, that's not what I said. I said in the past, because you asked me what has been my experience with couples. So in the past, my experience has been pretty casual, but I am looking for something serious. So she set him straight. And then she says that she's willing to spend more time with them. She's looking forward, to seeing them again. She's extremely open to trying to develop something with the both of them. She wasn't trying to shut Shane out and only concentrate on Sarah. Everything was pretty much inclusive. So I'm thinking that, okay, everything is going somewhat well, it's a whole lot better than how it was going before with the other lady. So everything seems to be going pretty well. And for some reason, Shane tells us in his confessional that he's not really feeling Sarah. And I'm like, why not? She was friendly, she was funny, she was approachable, she was, she was playing around with Sarah, but she was also playing around with Shane a little bit. She was very accommodating to both of them. And even though he was being kind of, distant and a bit interrogating, she was still being nice to him. And so he tells us in his confessional, well, I don't know if this is going to work out because I think that she's not really serious about this. She's not as serious as we are. And she may be leading Ashley on and she's going to end up breaking Ashley's heart. He's predicting all of this after meeting this woman one time at a miniature golf place. He's already predicted how this whole entire thing is going to play out, that she's going to break his wife's heart and she's just leading her on. So Shane, once again, you're like the female Danielle. In your wife's face, you act like, oh yeah, I'm down with this and da da da. But then when your wife actually, brings a potential wife to you, all of a sudden, you've got everything negative to say about them. And it's just, you're just trying to sabotage what your wife is seeking, what your wife wants. And because Ashley told us that if Shane does not like her potential partner, she's going to call it quits because Shane has to approve. And he knows that. And he knows how much power he holds. And I don't think he's ever going to approve of anything. So that's why I'm always wondering. And I don't have the energy or the time to go back to episode 1 or whatever episode when we first met Ashley and Shane. But I could have sworn they had said that whoever Ashley picks to be her sister wife also had to be down with Shane, because the plan was for them to have more children with the sister wife. So I could understand if Shane is being really picky because it's also a potential partner for him or a potential mother of his children. But if he's going to have nothing to do with her intimately, like nothing at all to do with her intimately, no children, no nothing, then I don't understand why Ashley is allowing him to have so much power in who she decides to be with. I don't get it. Moving on to Garrick and Danielle. So Danielle is still trying to bond with Natalia. It's really important for Danielle to bond with her potential sister wife because it's going to make things a whole lot easier. There's not going to be any jealousy, any competition. So if they're on the same page and on the same side, life is going to be a whole lot smoother. So she's still trying to bond with Natalia. So she takes Natalia outside to go talk to her one-on-one. And the first thing that she's asking Natalia after they had that, fight with Garrick about the apps that he was still using, the dating apps that he was still using, she asks Natalia, so do you still want to be a part of this crazy family? And Natalia was like, oh, sure, yes. So Danielle then asks Natalia if she will be her sister. And Natalia says yes. So then Danielle gives her a necklace. Y'all, that thing was the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm very understated kind of person. I don't like things to be big and glaring and gaudy looking when it comes to jewelry. Less is more to me. Honey, that necklace was awful. That's not the kind of necklace that you can really wear with anything and everything. Like a simple pendant or a simple, just whatever. Honey, anything but that. And she said it was supposed to be 2 hearts shaped, or a heart shaped in the infinity symbol. I don't know what the hell that was. It looked like an eyeball with 2 irises. I don't know what the hell was going on with that necklace. It was god awful. So Natalia, I don't know if she meant this or she's just trying to be nice. She was like, oh, this is so beautiful. It's so pretty. And so then Danielle puts the necklace on Natalia's neck and they hug. And then when they hugged, Danielle went in for a kiss. Now, in all fairness, I do think that when she went in for the kiss, she really was, now y'all, I'm kind of naive, okay, in a lot of situations, but I think that when she went in for the kiss, she was really trying to she was trying to be really friendly. We were trying to let her know that, hey, we're close enough where we can kiss on the lips, and it doesn't mean anything sexual or anything like that, but we're so close that we can do that. I think that's where Danielle was coming from. But when she went in for the kiss, Natalia moved her head back really quick. And she's kind of she had that look on her face what the hell are you doing? So that was a big miserable fail, and very awkward for Danielle. And I was embarrassed for her. Danielle, what are you doing? So moving on from there, Garrick is getting ready to propose. He has on his nice dress shirt and pants, and he's really nervous. He's gotten 11 roses because she's going to be the 12th, and that's going to complete the, I don't know what. It's something to do with Brazilian tradition. I don't know if he said in Brazil, this is what happens when a man proposes to a woman. You present her with 11 roses because she's going to be the 12th to make a complete dozen. So he has the 11 roses. He's got the ring. Okay. And when he opened up the box to show us the ring, I was like, y'all have just the worst taste in jewelry. You and your wife both. That ring was hideous. It looked like Claire's costume jewelry, Walmart costume jewelry. It was awful. It was god awful. But that's only because my personal taste, less is more. A simple diamond, a solitaire. I don't like anything that, y'all, A thing was hideous. It's the things that, nightmares are made of, because it's like it's opening up to eat you. It was like so big, so gaudy. He said he designed it himself, and he wanted to design it in the shape of a rose. It definitely looked like a damn flower. I don't know if it looked like a damn rose, but it looked like a flower. And it was just hideous to me. It was absolutely hideous. For an engagement ring, absolutely not. Okay, moving on. So he takes her out on the terrace, and she's dressed really nice. She has on like this really nice little black dress with the spaghetti straps, cleavage for days. And when he sees her, he's like, his breath, she takes his breath away because she was looking really beautiful. So anyways, they're out on the terrace. Danielle and her mother are witnessing the proposal. So he proposes to her in Portuguese. She says yes, and it's a beautiful thing. Now they're engaged. Later on that night, Garrick and Danielle are in their room, and they're packing up because they're supposed to be leaving, I guess, the next day to go back to the United States. And your girl Natalia is going to be going back to Brazil. So we have Garrick and Danielle in their bedroom, and they're packing up. And then here comes Natalia. So she comes in, she sits on the bed with Danielle as Garrick is packing his suitcase. And her coming in was a sign for Danielle to leave, to exit, because they need to consummate their relationship. Now, Garrick tells us in the book of Garrick, of the Bible of Garrick, he says that you make a woman your wife when you become intimate with her. That's when she becomes your wife. He says that's what the Bible says. And he says that he doesn't need paperwork or anything like that for her to be his wife. In his mind and in God's eyes, according to Garrick, she will be his wife once they consummate their relationship. So Natalia comes in, Danielle leaves. And, Danielle is making these really awkward jokes as she's leaving the room. And, so that was it. It was time for Danielle to go so that Garrett can make Natalia his wife in the eyes of the Lord, y'all. In the eyes of the Lord. Moving on. By the way, another thing about Garrett and Danielle. Danielle does this thing where she's acting really enthusiastic and really happy for them. But, Danielle is just burning up inside that this engagement has actually taken place. Moving on to Nyla and Naeem. So Naeem's mother comes over. Now, the purpose of her coming over was for them to introduce her to Keisha, which was their potential sister wife. But Keisha backed out at the very last minute. So when the mother comes over, she was like, so, why am I here? Or what's the special occasion? And they tell her, well, we invited you over for dinner because we wanted you to meet our potential sister wife, Keisha. But she backed out at the last minute. And so the mom was like, oh, thank God, because if I would have known that was y'all's plan, I would have left. I wouldn't have stayed for that. So the mom is absolutely 100% against them getting a sister wife, the whole plural marriage thing. The mom is not down with it at all. So they tell her, but hey, just because Keisha backed out doesn't mean that we are stopping our journey. We are still pushing forward and finding another sister wife. And the mom says, well, if you do find one, don't invite me for dinner. I will never have to come to this house again if you do find one. And so then they were like, that's fine. We'll just bring her to your house. So the mother says, I don't even know why y'all are doing this, because it is against Islam for a man to have more than one wife. Okay. So then they tell her that it is not against Islam for a man to have multiple wives. What the Quran says is that a man can have more than one wife as long as he treats all of his wives equally. If he shows any favoritism, or if he is unable to treat all of his wives equally, then this man only needs to have one wife. Okay, if you can't be equal and you can't be fair, then you should only have one wife. I'm just like shocked. How can people who follow the same religion, I mean, I guess it happens with Christianity too, but like, how do they not know that this is not, how can they not be on the same page on whether or not this is allowed? This is like a really major thing in religion. Like, is it permissible to have more than one wife, or isn't it? The mom is like, it's not permissible at all. And they're like, yes, it is, but there's conditions to it. But anyway, so the mom talks about how she's not down with this, she doesn't agree with this. And, they're like, we don't really care. We're not asking for your permission. It's the same old argument. We're not asking for your permission. We're still going to move full steam ahead on what we're trying to do with our family. And that's where that ended. Yeah. So it's slowly picking up. Sister Wives this season is slowly but surely picking up. I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. But then I am so like exhausted from 90 Day Fiance on Sunday, and then 90 Day the Single Life on Monday. When it comes to Sister Wives, y'all, I am spent. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. But I love the show and I love talking about it. So that's why I'm here. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.